why did projects like BNB, Hype, and Solana win? Whereas projects that raised hundreds of millions, such as OG, Stori, and ICP, not win. Why did these projects win and these didn't? Because they had all of the resources, hundreds of millions of dollars raised here to try and become successful. Huge names in the industry. Why have they not won? And these projects have won. That's exactly what I'm going to cover in this video. The key thing that led to projects like BNB, Hype, and Solana from winning against all of the rest, because I've highlighted these 3 projects, but there are thousands of projects like this that haven't made it work. And there's one reason for that, and that one reason is exactly what I'm going to cover in this video. And just for a bit of context, I'm Jake on Block. I'm a growth hacker in Web3. I was growth hacking in Web2. I came into Web3 4 years ago. I set up Magnet, which is Web3's growth engine. I'm an Amazon best-selling author on crypto growth and a member of the Forbes Business Council. So I'd like to think that I can talk about this subject with a little bit of sense. Let's get into it. Now, the very simple 1-sentence answer as to why these projects won and these didn't is this. These guys had a system. These guys did not have a system. It's as simple as that. BNB, Hype, Sol, growth systems. OG, Stori, ICP, no growth system. Now, what is a growth system? Let me explain. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to run through the exact growth that Hyperliquid have used to go from launching their token to over a $40 billion FDV within a matter of 12 months, to go from an idea to generating $1 billion plus in revenue within 12 months. I'm going to break down that system for you. But firstly, what is a system? So, marketing-led growth. This is the first part of a growth system. It's how you fuel the growth system. It's how you create that awareness and you start to acquire users. The second part, and this is the one which so many projects in crypto do not take advantage of, is product-led growth. So how do you activate your users, generate money from them, and keep them on your product? The next part of the system is your business-led growth. And this is all about generating revenue and scalability. The next part, and these last two, this is what's unique to crypto, but so many people get them wrong. Firstly, asset-led growth. Not how you monetize your asset and make money from it, but how do you use it as a growth asset to fuel your growth system? And finally, we have community-led growth. So this is all about how you get your community to go and fuel the front of your growth funnel, creating all of your future awareness. Now, before we get into the Hype example, the importance of the system is not just having a strategy for each type of growth, but it's also making sure that each type of growth influences the next type of growth. That is how you maximize ROI when building a growth system. So, example, marketing-led growth. Awareness, let's say we get 1 million impressions on our content, and from that we have a 1% conversion rate, acquired rate of new users, right? So that's going to give us, what, 10,000 new people coming through to the products. Then on here, let's say we activate, so just put 1,000, 10,000, sorry, and 1M. Let's say we activate half of those. So we activate 5K, and then we keep on the product and generate revenue from, again, 50% of those. So that would be 2.5K people, right? That we are essentially monetizing from our initial awareness efforts. Then in the business side, we're generating revenue from 2.5K people. So if we say that each person we're generating $100 from, that's going to give us 250K in revenue. And then our scalability, there's not really a metric for that, but this is, let's say our ops costs of running the business is say 100K, right? And then that's going to give us a net of 150K that we've got to play with. Now, on the asset side, this is where it gets interesting. Now, two things, revenue and paying users. Firstly, product influencing asset. So of our 2,500 paying users that love our product, let's say that 20% of them end up buying the token, right? So we have token and we have ecosystem on asset-led growth. So the token on the product side, 500 people. Let's say that they all buy on average $250 worth of the token. That's going to bring us $125,000 in buying pressure based on utility purchases. Utility purchases. And then on the revenue side, let's say we have a revenue to buyback model of 25%. So 250K revenue, 25%. We're going to be looking at $62,500. So over here, we have 125,000 from utility purchases. We have 62,500 from revenue purchases. This gives us a total of 187,500 in buying pressure coming into the token. So let's say our net selling pressure was 100K a month based on our supply tokenomics. That's going to give us a net gain of 87,500 coming into the chart every single month. And this is no hype, no speculation. This is purely based on the fundamentals of the growth system. The growth system is bringing $87,500 into the token every single month. And then finally, community-led growth. We have nurturing the community and activating that virality. Now, we have 87,500. The price is going up. The chart is going up. The value in the asset is going up. The community members are going to be rewarded. And as I said at the start, this is the best asset for community. Now, when we look at this from a numbers point of view, we want to be looking at one thing, NPS. So of our new token holders that we have, that have bought the token, so I think that figure was 500, right, here. So we have 500 people that we're going to go and get to talk about our token. Now, let's say that on average, every single person can drum up 400 impressions. That's going to give us new impressions of 200,000. So now we have 200,000 impressions. What this is going to do, and this is the most important thing, this is going to go and refuel the start of that funnel all over again. So we have 200,000 impressions, new awareness. So we had 1 million to start with from our marketing efforts. Now we have another 200K. And that 200K, if every part of the system stays the same and we can achieve the same sort of metrics throughout, that new 200K is going to go back through being acquired, activated, generating revenue into the token, and then into the community again. This creates the flywheel, the growth flywheel in crypto. Now let's take you through what Hype did to create this. So I'm going to leave that 1 second. Perfect. So for marketing-led growth, how Hyperliquid created their initial impressions and acquired their users. Founder distribution channels. So what I loved about Hype was they didn't go and pay big KOLs to go and speak about them. Their founders had reputations in crypto, and they utilized those channels to drum up the initial awareness and acquisition of users for their protocol. The product-led growth side, Hype is a perps DEX, right? It's nothing overly innovative, but what they nailed is they activated people on there. They have tens of thousands of users that were using it pre-token launch. So they put a real big focus on this term, product market fit, getting product market fit for their perps DEX before they went and launched a token. On the business side, they have fees, right? Hype generated $64 million in fees in May, right? Showing a very sustainable business model, an extremely sustainable business model. They were generating millions of dollars in revenue through fees before they even launched their token. So they have proven they can get to their audience. They have proven that they can activate and keep people in their product and that they can generate revenue and scale off of the back of that because Hype has a very small team. So on scalability wise, they have team small. Anyway, asset side. So Hype had a 97% buyback, right? 97%. So in May, for example, 97% of the 64 million went straight back into purchasing the token and taking that off of the market. Bring in what? 55, 60 million dollars, I can't do the quick maths, worth of pressure into the token. Let's call it 60 M's into the token, right? Away from any hype, any speculation, pardon the pun. So what this did is it's pushing the asset, making the asset achieve amazing figures. And that is why Hyperliquid right now, as an example, is billions of dollars in FDV, right? I think it peaked at nearly $50 billion in FDV because they had sustainability. And then when people saw this, what did they do? They started to get the hype and speculation come into the chart as well. Either way, their community went and spoke loud about Hyperliquid. And that led to all the big cowbells that they never paid talking about hype because they wanted a bit of the airdrop or they were benefiting from hype or whatever it might be. They built really good community strategies to go and encourage those people without paying them tons of money to go and speak about their protocol, which fueled the front of their funnel again. So very simply, this is what Hyperliquid did across these 5 stages. And this is how they built the growth system, which created the growth flywheel. And anyone who is building a project right now, if you try and launch and grow a crypto project, not like this, you try and do it like I was explaining at the start of the video, where you have all of these different types of growth that aren't interlinked whatsoever. They aren't maximizing the ROI. You're not metrics based. You will fail. The standard in crypto has gone up massively now. And if you don't do this, like I said, you are going to lose out massively on loads of ROI, and more importantly, probably end up in the graveyard of projects which we see in crypto today. Because there's very few winners that really implemented a growth system like Hyperliquid did in the right way. So if you are building a project right now, this is what you need to do. And one final thing before the end of the video, we're going to be doing 3 growth system calls. Growth system audit calls. So what we're going to be doing is talking to you and your team, working out where you currently are with your growth or where you want to try and take your growth, working out where the gaps are in your system, and more importantly, making sure you go away from the call with an idea of what your growth system looks like and how you can win based off of the back of that. So link in the description of the video if you want to book a free growth system audit call whilst they are still available, because I invented this methodology. It's called the magnet method. 2 years ago, I wrote a best-selling book on it. And all we do is use this to build sustainable growth systems into projects. So right now, these calls are free, but people are starting to get this message and they won't be free forever. Hope to see you there. And if not, hope you enjoyed the video. Adios.